tower in the center of the forest. They pass this test and manage to make it to the next one, which is an exhibition match. However, due to the events that transpired in the Forest of Death, both Naruto and Sasuke are not in peak physical condition. Sasuke is limited from using his ninjutsu due to how it awakens his curse mark, and Naruto is limited from using Kurama's power due to the extra seal placed over his 8 trigram seal, both due to Orochimaru's interference. Despite this, Sasuke manages to come out on top anyway, after his usage of the Lion Combo, a technique that he learned from watching Rock Lee's Front Lotus. This allows Sasuke to win despite his handicap. And Naruto faces off against Kiba, where he passes gas directly into Kiba's face and then finishes him off with his Naruto Uzumaki combo, a ripoff of another ripoff of the Front Lotus. Due to his handicap, Kakashi decides to help his student out by using the evil sealing method, which does just as the name implies, at the cost of causing Sasuke to pass out from the pain. To keep Sasuke from being tempted to use the Curse Seal's power, as only Sasuke's willpower is keeping the seal inert, Kakashi trains him to use the Chidori instead. Meanwhile, Naruto trains with pervy sage, Jiraiya-sensei. Jiraiya was one of the few people in the world that Naruto felt an almost familial connection with. Jiraiya himself was worthy of his title of pervy sage. He was a user of Toad-style Sage mode, which Naruto would later use himself, but he was also a bit of a pervert. The first time Naruto meets him, he's peeking in on a women's bathing house. At this time, Naruto's original teacher, Ebisu, discovers him, but Jiraiya knocks him out. Naruto insists on training under the Toad Sage. Jiraiya thinks it's best to focus on chakra control, which he aids Naruto in doing by removing Orochimaru's 5 Elements seal, making Naruto summon toads and later pushing him off a cliff, which, while allowing Naruto to meet Kurama for the first time, and acquire the strength to summon Gamabunta, ends with Naruto in the hospital, where he encounters Gaara attempting to kill Rock Lee, who is currently incapacitated due to his previous battle with Gaara, which everyone believed would end his shinobi career. Naruto then must face off against Neji, which he barely pulls through due to his being a Jinchuriki. And as Sasuke faces Gaara, Orochimaru springs his attack, in which he summons the bodies of Hashirama Senju and Tobirama Senju, resurrected through the Impure World Reincarnation Jutsu to fight the Hokage. However, as a last-ditch effort, Hiruzen uses the Reaper Death Seal, same as Minato, to seal Orochimaru away. However, Hiruzen is not as strong as he would like to believe he is, which results in him only being able to seal away Orochimaru's arms. Meanwhile, Team 7 are facing off against Gaara when suddenly he shifts into the form of Shukaku. Naruto summons Gamabunta and transforms him into the Nine Tails to fight him, and manages to defeat him by punching him in the face to wake him up. With all of this done, the attack on Konoha has ended. However, the Hokage was dead, and Naruto had the burden of watching Konohamaru, the kid he considered a little brother, lament his grandfather's passing. Naruto was later asked to go with Jiraiya to bring Tsunade back to Konoha to be the 5th Hokage, which he agrees to, but is astounded to find that she couldn't care less about being Hokage to a degree that insults Naruto. She then makes a bet with him that if he masters the Rasengan in a week, she'll give him the first Hokage's necklace as a gift. Tsunade then manages to face off against Orochimaru, who had sought her help after his arms were sealed. Kabuto aids his master in battle and even manages to harm Tsunade, but Naruto joins to help her. It's then that Naruto experiences the closeness of death, when both his heart muscles and chakra pathways were severed by Kabuto. Tsunade manages to heal him though. During the battle, Naruto displays the Rasengan, which Tsunade remembers was a part of her bet with Naruto, and as such she gives him the first Hokage's necklace. It's ironic though that this necklace has found its way back to its original owner, albeit in a different body. Naruto is later challenged by an envious Sasuke to a duel, which is interrupted by Kakashi-sensei, though with the evidence laid bare, Naruto still soundly won. This causes Sasuke to consider leaving the village, which he eventually does. Naruto and a small team pursue him and face Kimimaro and the Sound 4, but the Leaf Shinobi come out on top. Naruto meets Sasuke at the Valley of the End, where he attempts to convince him to come home, but Sasuke refuses and the two battle. Awakening his Curse Seal's second stage that he had just acquired with the help of the Sound 4, he faces off against Naruto in his version 1 cloak, and comes out victorious. Naruto is then returned to the village without Sasuke. From here, Naruto leaves with Jiraiya to train, and 2.5 years pass quietly. Naruto trains with Jiraiya, and Sasuke trains under Orochimaru. However, upon returning to the village, it becomes known that Gaara, the current Kazekage of the Hidden Sand, has been taken by mysterious forces, and Naruto and Sakura are sent to find him. In the end, it's found that Gaara has been killed and Shukaku stripped from him. They fight against Sasori, the Akatsuki's master puppet user, and manage to kill him. and with the help of Chiyo, they manage to revive Gaara. They gain information from Sasori that he was planning to meet with Orochimaru, and so the Leaf capitalize upon this by sending Yamato with Team 7 with new recruit Sai to trick Orochimaru in hopes of taking him down and bringing Sasuke back to the village. However, Orochimaru sees through this trick, and Team 7 faces off against him, where Orochimaru pokes fun at Naruto's inability to save Sasuke, causing Naruto to enter his version 2 cloak, which previously he had failed to control, resulting in his own hospitalization as well as Jiraiya's. At this point, Naruto's version 2 is ripping his flesh apart and constantly regenerating it, speeding up the cycle of cell death and regeneration, which will slowly lower his lifespan. However, the strength it offers is enough to push Orochimaru back. However, his lack of control causes him to hurt Sakura, and Yamato is forced to use, here it comes, my favorite part, Hokage-style 60-year-old technique, entering society with bliss-bringing hands. My soul, that feels so good to say. This calms Naruto down, but he is in bad shape, needing to be healed by Sakura. Sai, on the other hand, feigns betrayal to get close enough to Orochimaru in hopes of killing Sasuke, but he doesn't. Eventually, Naruto and his friends catch up, only to see that Sasuke isn't very interested in returning to the village. After a quick skirmish in which Yamato is wounded, Sasuke leaves with Orochimaru. This doesn't last long, as Orochimaru has pretty much gone dry on things to teach Sasuke, and so Sasuke pulls a Tragedy of Darth Plagueis style maneuver on Orochimaru, and kills him while he's resting in his bed. Naruto is also growing stronger. He's training with his shadow clones to grow stronger and learn a new technique, which turns out to be Rasen Shuriken. At this time, the Akatsuki are branded as a true threat, and sought by the Leaf tirelessly. Sadly, they found some, and these Akatsuki members killed Asuma, leaving poor Konohamaru with one less family member. Naruto joins the team to hunt down Hidan and Kakazu, and after using his new Rasen Shuriken, manages to kill Kakazu, while Hidan is permanently buried on Nara clan soil, where his immortality will become a curse. We really need Hidan to return at Boruto Kishimoto. Bring him back. He'd make such a good villain, better than his ripoff. Expand on Jashin lore, please. Excuse me, sorry about that. During this time, Jiraiya is sent to the village hidden in the rain to investigate a rumor that the Akatsuki originated from there. While in the village, he comes to realize that its former leader, Hanzo of the Salamander, has perished and was replaced by a man known only as Pain. To his horror, he finds that the Akatsuki are currently being led by his former students, Nagato, Konin, and the recently deceased Yahiko, who is currently the embodiment of Nagato's diva path. After fighting valiantly, Jiraiya finds that he cannot defeat them and is killed. This news hits Naruto like a truck, and he has to deal with the death of his godfather and one of the few people he could consider to be like a father to him. However, Naruto is invited to train on Mount Myoboku by the Toad Sages, where he learns how to use Sage Mode to a masterful degree, even besting Jiraiya. However, at this time, Toby convinces Nagato that he needs to take a more active role in helping them get the tailed beasts, as they've already lost Sasori, Hidan, and Kakazu. Pain agrees, and decides to simply take the Nine Tails from Konoha, and begins his assault. He terrorizes the village and its citizens searching for Naruto, but finds nothing. However, Naruto would return to save the village that hated him so much. Here he fights against the Six Paths of Pain and eventually beats them. He would track down Nagato and attempt to bring him back to the light side. This would cause Nagato to use the technique Samsara of Heavenly Life to revive all of those who died. Naruto would return to the village and be treated like the hero he is. Wait a second. No, we won't let that happen. We'll say in this timeline, Naruto is not celebrated. Nope. What if instead the people blame him for Pain coming to the village at all?
When the world gave them setbacks, science gave them bounce backs. And when your vet delivered life-altering news, science delivered life-changing nutrition. Phil's prescription diet, science did that.
Relationship to patient?
Oh, so Billy grew up with Samir. Samir and I went to college together. Junior Anton transferred in. And actually, you're gonna die at this, so.
I'll put friend.
Yeah, I'm in the office. There's just some construction in my cubicle. Yeah. Oh, it's getting louder.
Clear! Our minds are just so sick.
We're sick.
We're unwell.
FX's Adults, all new Wednesdays on FX. All episodes now streaming on Hulu.
After all, Pain was searching for the Nine Tails, which is Naruto to them. And Naruto did not come out of hiding, and so many people died. Yeah, they returned to life, but their homes, businesses, and entire lives had been turned upside down. And they see this as Naruto's fault. They hate his guts at this point. They boo him and throw trash, empty sake bottles, and rotten food at him. Naruto's confused. He saved them and they hate him for it? It's at this point he begins to believe that there is nothing he can do to gain these people's respect. His dream of becoming Hokage is proven to him to be just that, a dream. A puff of smoke that is quickly flitting away from reality. Danzo is then instituted as the interim Hokage to replace the comatose Tsunade. A 5 Kage summit is called and Danzo goes. Sasuke also goes because by this time he has killed Itachi and has come to realize that Konoha ordered it, and is right now on his way there to kill Danzo. Naruto begs the Raikage to excuse Sasuke, but the Raikage refuses. All of this causes Naruto to have a panic attack, which leaves him out of commission for a while. Yamato is supposed to bring him back to the village, but Naruto escapes. Meanwhile, at the summit, Sasuke is fighting his way in, and Tobi appears in front of the Kage and demands the Nine Tails. When he's refused, he declares the 4th Shinobi World War. Sasuke crashes the party, and the Kage scatter. Sasuke targets Danzo though, and the two get into a battle that introduces us to the concept of Izanagi, which allows Danzo to blur the line between illusion and reality, and allow him to cheat death. Sasuke would have died had it not been for Karin. However, he sacrifices her, or at least tries to defeat Danzo. He's then met with Sakura, Kakashi, and Naruto, each of whom engage him in battle. Sasuke comes out on top due to the poison Naruto took in due to Sakura, but he also finds that he's going blind due to overusage of his Mangekyo Sharingan and flees. He would then transplant Itachi's eyes to gain the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. Naruto is then sent to an island to train, but it's really to keep him away from the war. This is something he later learns, but not for a little while. At first, Killer Bee doesn't like him, but eventually they become buds. First things first, before he can conquer the hatred in Kurama's heart, he must first conquer the hatred in his own heart. To do this, he sits in front of a waterfall and prepares to face his darkness. However, his darkness is far stronger than before, due to his treatment after fighting pain. At this point, Naruto can't conquer this darkness, and in the end, it takes over. Naruto is filled with anger and hatred which he can't defeat, but catches Kurama's attention. Due to this, Kurama allows Naruto to take some of his energy, sensing this darkness will bring about a lot of destruction. Naruto, without even training, manages to awaken Nine Tails chakra mode. This allows him to sense what's going on in the world, where he rushes off to face the enemy. Most of this actually stays the same until deeper into the final confrontation. Naruto faces off against Tobi, who has the secrets of his Kamui found out with the help of Kakashi. However, he absorbs the Ten Tails and becomes its Jinchuriki. The united shinobi forces face off against him, and even to a point Sasuke helps. But when Naruto enters Obito's heart space to try to convince him to return to the light, the opposite happens. Obito tells him how cruel the world is and that even Naruto knows it. He tells Naruto that he is just like Obito and has a deep darkness in his heart. This causes Naruto to fail at saving Obito. However, in the end, with the power of the united shinobi forces, they manage to pull the tailed beasts out of Obito. Naruto watches as Kakashi kills him. Black Zetsu appears and removes the Rinnegan from Obito's head and plans to take it to Madara. However, it's intercepted by Naruto, who uses Nine Tails chakra mode to deal with the Zetsu. He then takes the Rinnegan. Kakashi and Sakura cheer Naruto on and ask for the eye, but Naruto hesitates a bit. Kakashi would look to Sakura, and Sakura would look to Kakashi. Sakura would speak. Naruto? Naruto would disappear from sight. In the distance, there's the sound of grunting and groaning, and suddenly Naruto appears atop the Ten Tails, which has been summoned out of Obito, and Naruto stands atop it, his left eye replaced with the Rinnegan. Kakashi asks Naruto what he's doing, and Naruto looks down and doesn't say a word. At this time, Madara, who is yet to return to life, stands there and looks on, finding his plan hijacked a second time by somebody else. He sighs and would join Naruto standing by his side. An unexpected plot twist, Madara would say. Naruto would look out over the other tailed beasts as chakra chains would extend from the Geto statue's mouth. Madara would look to Naruto and tell him that he needs to absorb them one at a time. He does so one by one, all while the united shinobi forces begin to ask Naruto what he's doing. Naruto looks at all of the shinobi of belief and speaks. This is your own doing. Naruto would absorb the Eight Tails last, and then absorb the Geto statue into his body, where he would then mix Kurama's chakra with it. He would then become the Ten Tails Jinchuriki. Naruto would then begin to face off against the united shinobi forces instead, along with Madara's help. He would spare Sasuke, Sakura, and Kakashi, as well as some of his closer friends who had been the few to actually care about him. But other than that, he would utterly decimate the united shinobi forces, who had already been stretched thin by fighting Obito. Naruto would then leave the battlefield. The reincarnated Hokages would all be shocked, and Minato especially would be unable to believe this. They would follow Naruto to wherever he was going, only to find that he had gone back to the Hidden Leaf village. Looking down on the village from high up, Naruto would note every instance that this ungrateful village hated him for sacrificing his body to imprison the very monster that threatened them. Oh, how many times he had selflessly acted for this village only to be despised. He began to regret having been forced to become the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki and wished instead that the village had been destroyed during this attack all those years ago. All Naruto ever wanted was to be accepted. That's why he dreamed of being Hokage. Not to be in some seat of power or to hold a position he could brag about. He just wanted to be accepted. But that would never happen. Naruto would hover over the leaf all while Madara watches, arms crossed, face twisted in a sadistic smirk. Naruto would hover over the village as people below began to point and cry out. Naruto would look down. For so many years you all hated me. Everything I ever did was for your approval. I even sacrificed my own safety and the only man I ever knew as a father to protect you from pain in his 6 paths. And what was I met with? Love and admiration? Acceptance? A tear would drip down his face and hit the ground as his very voice would echo the feelings in his heart. I just wanted you all to love me. I wanted to be treated like a person, not a demon. But because you couldn't handle my life and alienated me for living, I have become the very thing you hated. Congratulations. You created your own destroyer. The cries of the village would grow louder as Naruto would drop a truth-seeking ball down in the center of the village, which would explode and eradicate most of the village and its inhabitants. By this time, the Hokages and whatever was left of the United Shinobi Forces, being those who Naruto considered friends and had spared, would appear. Hiruzen would be in utter disbelief that the village he loved so much could be done in like this. Tobirama would declare that Naruto was a despicable human being, and Hashirama would remain silent, all while eyeing Madara, who was also looking back at him with a grin. Minato would be the first to rush out there. He would call out to Naruto. Naruto would look down at his father. Minato would speak. Son, what have you done? Why did you do this? Naruto would lower to the ground, a single veil of hardened flesh covering his Rinne Sharingan, as a pair of horns symbolizing the devil he had become shone in the moonlight that would soon be stained red with the Tsukiyomi. I am just being the monster you created, Naruto would say. Minato would shake his head. No, I never meant for you to become a monster. I wanted you to save the world, to save the village, not destroy it. Naruto would look down. Maybe that is so, but it doesn't make it hurt any less. Naruto would look up crying. You left me. You died to put this thing in me. Mom died, and I know it wasn't her fault, but I needed someone, he would shout out. I was alone. Everyone in the village hated me because of what I was, what you made me to be. Why couldn't you drag this demon in me to hell with you? Minato would look at his son and put a hand on his cheek. My son, I was selfish to expect this of you. I should have known better than to put such a weight on your shoulders. I valued my duty to the world and to my village, and I did not consider how this would adversely affect you. I believed you would be treated as a hero, but Naruto would wipe his nose. They cast me aside. I didn't make a single friend. Their parents dragged them away from me out of fear. How many nights do you think I cried myself to sleep out of loneliness? How many nights do you think I considered jumping from the Hokage's monument to fulfill the wishes of those who obviously wanted me dead? Minato would listen, unsure of what to say. Naruto would continue. I tried to be mischievous. I vandalized that damned monument just to get someone to look at me. I spilled my hatred on that rock to feel better and maybe get anyone to publish me in hopes that they might feel the need to. I don't know, provide a parent that I never had. And that wasn't me, Irika would say as he appeared. Wasn't I the one to punish you, to take you out for ramen, to protect you when Mizuki wanted you dead? Naruto would nod. Yeah, I guess, but I was still alone. Where was my family? Konohamaru would show up. You were my big brother, Naruto. Why would you hurt our village? Wasn't I your family? Sakura and Kakashi would appear behind him. We were more than just Team 7. We were a family too. You weren't alone. We were with you. Even Sasuke would show up. I find it ironic that you tried to save me from my own path of hatred and ended up walking it yourself.
Savings on travel, food, and entertainment. Because you're a T-Mobile member.
Sasuke would let out a small laugh. Maybe you understand me more than I thought. Here I thought it was worse to have love and loss, but apparently I was wrong. Minato would pull Naruto into his embrace. If I could go back in time, I would not have forced this on you. I was wrong too. All I ever wanted was to be your father and the husband to your mother. I would have given up everything for that. I should have. The rest of Naruto's friends would begin to hug him. Naruto would finish breaking down into tears and just openly cry. In the distance, even the reincarnated 3 Hokage could hear it. Hiruzen would mention to Tobirama that he had failed. He was a soft Hokage. I couldn't even protect one child. How could I be fit to protect this village? Hashirama would shake his head. No, Hiruzen, this is my fault. I'm the one who proliferated the tailed beasts. When Madara brought the Nine Tails, I was the one who sealed it into my wife and then spread them among the villages. Minato was protecting the balance I created. Tobirama then spoke. This is all of our faults. We were too busy attempting to protect the peace we had won that we forgot to protect those that this peace was for. As they hugged a bit more in the center of the crater, suddenly they would hear a voice. This is such a beautiful scene. It tugs on every last one of my heartstrings. But I regret to inform you that I still need that 10 tails to cast the infinite Tsukiyomi. They would turn to see Madara. He would wave his hand as if brushing the whole situation aside. You want to go back in time, 4th Hokage? Perhaps I have just the thing for you. Reality can often be disappointing. You find yourself unable to do the things you wish you could, and find that time passes you by. You're unable to go back and atone for your sins, but that can be changed. All that needs to be done is have Naruto there cast the infinite Tsukiyomi. If he does that, this all goes away. You can enter a world where all of your hopes and dreams come true. You can start over. Naruto can grow up with parents and be loved by the village. Sasuke there can live in a world where Konoha never forced his brother to kill his clan. Sakura can have a world where she's married to the Uchiha she so adores. What do you have to lose? Minato would smile. Reality. Madara would raise a brow. Minato would continue. We have reality to lose. This world you plan to make sounds perfect, but in the end, it's no more than just a genjutsu. An illusion. It's not real. The bonds forged there between people will be just as false as the world you have crafted. Reality is better, even if it is disappointing, because at least it's real. Madara would sigh. That's fine. There is still one Rinnegan left out there. All I need to do is find someone to revive me and take that beast into myself after you're all dead. They would begin to fight, and Madara would prove to be a true adversary. Even with his 10 tails Jinchuriki power and being surrounded by everyone else, Naruto would still have a problem dealing with Madara. And given that he was an Edo Tensei, he was, for all intents and purposes, immortal. And he was fast enough to be hard to pin down to seal. In the end, Sasuke would be killed and Kakashi as well, but with Hashirama Senju and Tobirama Senju, they would manage to hold him off. However, he is still immortal. Naruto knows exactly what he needs to do. After everything he has done, everything he's felt, he knows exactly what to do. He uses Samsara of Heavenly Life technique to revive all those killed in the war, including those he killed in the village. However, he also includes Madara in this number, and as soon as he resurrects, he's run through by Hashirama and Tobirama, which ends his short-lived return to life. However, Naruto falls to the ground. Much like Nagato before him, this ends with Naruto's life being lost. As he lays there on the ground, he's surrounded by his friends who all wish him the best. Even the villagers are surrounding him, realizing that they really did deserve this, and that Naruto deserved none of it. But at this point, it's too late. Naruto begins to slip away, and all of his friends say their last goodbyes to him with tears in their eyes. Minato would smile and tell Naruto not to be afraid. He would go with him into the afterlife, where he, Minato, and Kushina could all live as the family they'd always wanted to be. Naruto smiles and says, "That sounds nice." Then he closes his eyes and passes away. And that is where our what if ends. Of course, we can always consider what would happen afterwards too. I would assume that Kakashi would more than likely become Hokage. Sasuke would likely return to the village and marry Sakura, Tenari would attack, and I assume that Sasuke could beat him. And as for the likes of Momoshiki Nishiki, well, I would assume that someone in the leaf, possibly Sasuke, maybe Kakashi, would absorb the 10 tails to fight them, and more than likely could win. I also headcanon that Kakashi replaces his Sharingan with Naruto's Rinnegan. Imagine Kakashi with a Rinnegan. But anyway, what do you think of this? This was pretty fun to write, and I ended up listening to a sad mix of music when writing the ending there. Nothing beats Call of Silence and Sadness and Sorrow on a 1-hour loop when you're trying to feel the feels. Hope you enjoyed it. Let us know in the comments what you thought about this bittersweet ending, and if there was anything that you would have done differently. I'm interested to hear. Please feel free to like the video if you enjoyed it, and leave an F in the chat for Naruto. Subscribe if you haven't, and ring the bell so you know when we make more videos like this. Peace out, peeps.
We're low on Pampers. Target run.
Leave a comment down below to feed the algorithm what. Also, check out all of Taka's social medias in the description below. He's now become a VTuber, so you can actually check out his content all the freaking time. He uploads pretty much daily here on YouTube as a freaking VTuber. So,
That's true.
check it out.
Get this. I've been a VTuber since 2020, technically. I started my stream on December 31st, 2020 was my first VTuber stream. And it took a year off in the middle of there. But I've essentially, on my YouTube channel, have over 2,000, I'm serious, 2,000 plus clips of my misadventures with VTubers throughout the years. As well, a VOD channel as well. It has over 500 VODs. But however, I had half as many VODs, I just didn't upload them. Oops.
Well, for what he does have there you go.
Yeah, oopsie, my me.
And now, let's get into the debauchery.
Now, before we start, can I give you a quick preface to this? All right, real quick. Now, Helsing Ultimate Abridged. This originally started because of one reason.
Okay.
There were all these comments in abridging at the time because it came out in 2010, end of 2009.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I felt inspired to do this because people would leave comments like, "You can abridge anything but Helsing," and they would make comments like that. Like, "What are you doing? That was too hard." I'm like, "You can make fun of anything." I actually sat down and watched Helsing Ultimate the first time, and I had thought of so many fucking jokes for the first episode.
Yep.
So I sat down and just, one of those things just starts percolating in your head.
Yep.
And just starts forming. And so I sat down and I pitched it to Kaiser Neko, who is the main editor and voice of Zarbon.
Okay,
And Dragon Ball Z Abridged. He'll be many more characters coming down the pipeline. He's going to get to a big one eventually. You've already heard him, Trunks.
Oh, yeah, we talked
Bing
about that. Yeah.
Bing bong. And he essentially said, "Hey, all right, you hear me out?" He's like, "All right, you like the idea?" We sat down and wrote out a script. This script the first episode has aged in places, and there's a joke I do not like in the middle of this episode. I don't like it because I'm going to give a better joke. A bit too edgy for my taste nowadays, but in the end,
this is 14 years ago, so I don't think anyone's gonna hold shit against you for that, man. I'm like,
you'd be surprised, but nonetheless, it's one of those things. It's a product of its time, and comedy in some ways ages. And we're kind of like a few years into what we were doing, so we're still figuring things out. But by the end of episode 1, by episode 2, we knew what we wanted.
All right.
We knew what we wanted here. But episode 1 was originally to debut. We were hyping up and debuting episode 1 at an anime convention.
Oh.
It was at Youmacon Anime. And by see the
a world of adventure.
Wow.
A sea full of excitement. And a man full of dreams. And a passion that seeks to drive him to the top.
Gotcha, you're redoing One Piece. Pause. All right, gotcha.
Why?
No.
Wait, why?
We're restarting One Piece. You just agreed to it. You now signed a contract with me. We're now going to restart One Piece again. This time with me.
Okay.
That's right. We're going to go all the way back to the beginning, baby.
No! Taka, I'm over 700 episodes into One Piece right now.
Sucks. You should have waited. But anyways, we'll start. Okay, so we're gonna start with episode 1. We'll go through. All right. So the joke was we were hyping up because everyone at that point had been asking and demanding. We were talking about how we're gonna do maybe a second show. It was just gonna be a one-off episode because originally Helsing Abridged was planned to be one episode. But we said we're gonna work on something new. And at first comment was it's gonna be It's gonna be One Piece, right?
Oh.
And then the number one was like One Piece, right? So we're like, okay. Sure.
Like, let's fuck with
So
them.
what we did was we literally kept implying it was One Piece. We kept implying it was going to be One Piece, and we get to the film. To the point, the commitment to the joke was to the point where Lanny Pator, the voice of Vegeta, Krillin, Piccolo, and Mr. Popo, he was going to cosplayers at Detroit Youmacon for One Piece, telling them to come to the panel.
Oh my god, that level of commitment.
I need you to know, oh my god, some of them weren't happy. Some of them really weren't happy when it cut, like literally dressed as Chopper. One of them was dressed as Chopper. They had Frankie in their team and everything. They had the full commitment. And we dropped this, and they're like, yeah, and it cuts to this, and they're like, huh? But then there's an Alucard cosplayer in the 5th row who just stood up with his hands raised and did the Randy Orton pose.
I feel so bad for those other cosplayers, man.
Well, but granted, they all stuck around and actually had a great time, and they laughed, and they actually were laughing. The Frankie specifically was laughing like crazy because he's a massive Helsing fan.
Okay, perfect.
But that actually happened, and this is why I really was happy that I got to do this commentary with you, because I have so many funny fucking stories about production of this. It was one of my favorite stories that Nick did that shit. The sadistic Lanny Pator, that sadistic bastard.
That intro is so fucking... And then like that scratch like into this. Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, yes.
So dated.
I love you, Edward.
And I love you, Bella.
There's got to be a Twilight reference if it's
All right,
vampires
so
14 years ago.
2009, 2010. What's hotter than anything?
Yeah.
Twilight.
Yep.
Now, Twilight was so hot that I even third-wheeled it for a friend of mine. I went to a fucking movie with him to third-wheel the date.
Wait, you willingly? Wait, hold on.
I'm loyal to my friends.
Wait, he didn't set you up with somebody to go at double date?
No, he was trying to hook up with somebody, but he wanted to go with somebody else, so it didn't seem like he was just trying to go with her one-on-one. I think people like auto-generated subs. Yeah, I don't think we have subs on this one. So...
Oh, so I can just turn them off. That's fine.
Probably for the best. Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna mismatch. But, oh my... Yo, bro, can you cuck me on this date real quick? Can you...
What?
Bro, can you cuck me on this date real quick? I need the emotional support.
No, he wanted to go on a date, but he didn't want to, like, but if he just invited her one-on-one, she know it was a date, but if I just go, I don't really care, and I'm just vibing anyway, so he sits beside her, and I just sit there and watch.
Okay, well, he didn't, like, make out with her in the theater, right?
No, it didn't go anywhere. But
okay, then it's fine. Then you did a good job. You're fine. Okay, emotional support.
Still a friend, though. Still a friend.
Okay.
Still a friend. Yeah.
Good. Because, like, it's awkward if he brought you and they start making out with her, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna just eat my large popcorn. Okay. And now we get the juicy details of Taka's life in the middle of all this.
Hold on. Who is it?
Oh, you know.
This isn't over.
게임을 시작하겠습니다.
A real fucking vampire.
Oh!
Big ball, fuck your life!
Oh, your delivery.
The intro music.
Pause.
I can imagine the way people erupted the moment they heard you say that line. That is hard as fuck.
I will always remember the first panel we did. The actual like crowd explosion when Alucard showed up, because they had no idea what was playing. Except for like Hardcore Helsing, but the second Alucard, it's just like bang, bang, and it just cuts to like a real fucking vampire. And it boom, and it's just like it was because the thing is the convention was on Halloween.
Oh my god, so it was just even better. That's just peak timing.
We chose Andrew WK's Party, Party, Party. Enjoy the copyright.
That's my editor's job, don't worry. Hey, Azu, you got that, buddy.
No, I'll sing a song. Party, party, party. I want to have a party. You need to have a party. You better have a party. Here. That being said, there's lots I love. We're already a minute in. We should take it away, though. Let's watch a little bit here.
Let's do it.
Hey, police girl. Do you have the target?
Okay, Master, my name is Saris. And yes, I have the target in sight.
Well, better take the shot. You're letting her get away.
If you just give me a second to concentrate, I could...
She's getting away. She's running.
I get it, I'm lining up the...
Going to miss it. Going to miss it.
Just be quiet and let me...
Hey, police girl. Hey, police girl.
There! I took the fucking shot! She's dead! There's blood everywhere!
Oh, you are just a treat.
Pause.
Bestie, he's just you. You know that, right? That's not a character. That's just you. I've hung out with you for hours.
Hey, Alicia. Hey, Alicia. Hey, Alicia. Hey, Alicia. Hey, Alicia. Hey, look at this. Hey, Alicia, look what I did. I took all your advice, and now the algo's bursting in my mouth.
I'm going to kill myself on stream.
All right. Hot hose of algo right now, baby. So this is introducing one of the first characters. So this show came out before Archer. I shit you not. Archer came out shortly thereafter. What was funny is Archer's a very similar character to what Alucard is, which is just kind of like a dick with like an ability to be good at his job, but he's still kind of an asshole. And what's really freaking hilarious was, again, I had never seen Archer until about I think halfway through production of episode 2, and I watched the first season. I'm like, oh shit. Pretty crazy, actually. Okay, that's kind of weird how that fucking that matched up a little bit there. But it was like literally Alucard is like, what if Archer had godlike powers, which is a terrifying thing to imagine. But that's kind of what he is. So essentially, we so yeah, this predates a lot of that. That's why I fell in love with Hua. Thank you so much. By the way, and it never caught on Hua for Hellsing Ultimate Abridged. The abbreviation is Hua. So you know.
Oh.